guys, how's it going? Benang here. And today I want to show you my style of how to draft in the Gauntlet. Note how I'm saying my style, because everybody has a different play style, and therefore everybody probably has a different draft style too, right? And I want to show you my style. I can show you, there will be a link down there with my Gauntlet statistics, so you can judge yourself if it's worth learning from me and my coach, which is Zelda too, or if you'd rather draft on your own. If you want to do my style, you have to know I'm more or less a value player. I like playing cards, and instead of straight face or aggressive, just get value. Just get a value out of my cards and amass the value so much that I can crush my enemy in the mid to late game. That's generally my game plan. And because every draft is slightly different, I'm not gonna do a dry and boring theoretical explanation. Let's just gonna draft a game in Gauntlet. So let's start here. We're offered Magma, Songhai, Abyssian. Since I have a quest for Abyssian, let's go Abyssian. And okay. Before we really start, I need to say something about universal things. Drafting normally is very situation dependent, but there are some universal things, like 3 aspects of the draft, which are curve, value, and game plan. Curve means basically that you want to saturate your mana. You want to play, for example, if you have 4 mana crystal, you want to play a 4 mana drop, or at least two drops, right? You don't want to play a 3 mana card when you have 4 mana, because you would more or less waste that 1 mana. And that's what curve means. So you want to have a nice assortment of cards, so on every turn you can have a play. And value means that for every card you play, you want to get as much out of it as possible. So, for example, a card that trades for 2 of your enemy's cards is great value. Basically, what it more or less means is that you want to have the best play possible with the mana available to you. I'm gonna explain when we see like a decision what we're gonna do. And game plan means what you want to do with your game. For example, at the beginning I explained I'd like to play value based, right? There are other players out there who like to play aggro. So they might value, for example, a card that has higher attack and less health, whereas I would rather choose the card with high health and less attack, because I want to trade several cards. He wants to go face, and the higher attack would help him, but not me. So keep in mind these 3 aspects. We will come back to them later when they come up, and generally that's the basics of how you draft. So let's go to the current situation here. We are offered 3 cards: Darkseid, Prismatic Illusionist, and Shadow Dancer. I can just tell you these 2 are very situational. Darkseid, because you can only get value if the enemy has a full hand, or at least 5 or 6 cards in his hand. That's rather rare. That's not gonna happen too much. Prismatic Illusionist, it's a combo card, and combo in general is very unreliable in Gauntlet, because you have 1 or maybe 2 copies of a card, and it's difficult to combo. That's why I'm picking the 3rd one, which isn't bad either. So Shadow Dancer is a nice solid card. Okay, here is a very interesting choice. We have Grasp of Agony, which is rather it's low value. It's at maximum like 3 or 6 damage, right? But the thing is, your enemies can play around that. They just place their minions so they can't get grasped. Repulsor Beast, on the other hand, it's quite nice. It's lots of utility. It's the utility at this point, however, I don't value too much. This Dragonbone Golem is just raw value. It's like the most stats you could get with 7 mana, and that's the reason I'm picking it here. These cards aren't that great. All three of them aren't that great cards, and there's a general rule of thumb. If you're offered three like medium cards, think about curve. So if all cards aren't that valuable, think about your curve. You want to have enough 2-drops so you don't skip your first turn. First turn, turn 1 is very, very important in Duelist, because if you have a good turn 1, you have a good turn 2, and if you have a good turn 2, you probably will have a good turn 3 and 4, and from there you will win the game. And that's why it's important to, in this situation, pick the cards that can provide you a good turn 1. And in this case, both are more or less helpful. Blood Siren is slightly better because I can play both on turn 1, and this is Blood Siren is just more stats. That's why I'm going Blood Siren. Okay. Dancing Blades here is more or less the best neutral common card. Normally there is no question asked if this comes up. I'm just gonna go over all these cards because it's an instructional, educational video, right? Blue Tip Scorpion just dies to the general, and it's very, very rare you can actually attack an enemy minion because most won't give them to you for free, right? It's without any like movement manipulation, it's very difficult to get use of that. Blazehound, you help your enemy with this card because he gets the draw too, and in Gauntlet you're very, very rare with 6 cards in hand, and the mill effect happens very, very rare, so that's not such a good card. And Dancing Blades is just so good. It's just really, really good. That's an interesting decision here. So first of all, let's go over what I won't pick. I won't pick the Rogue Warden because high mana cost ranged minions are very, very understated. Normally 5 mana gives you 4/9 stats. The 5 mana golem is 4/9. So as you can see here, you pay 6 health just for the ranged, or 6 stat points just for the ranged keyword. And that's very, very, very much. If I didn't have any 5-drops and the other 2 cards were bad, I would probably pick Rogue Warden. Here, however, both Primus Fist and Hailstorm are really good. They both fit into my curve, so it's actually quite a difficult decision here. The Golem is just nice amount of stats. It's very solid. And Primus Fist can synergize very well. If you want, you can buff up your small minions and kill the enemy's big minions. Also, it's a turn 1 play, right? If you, like I said, if you have a good turn 1, you can accelerate into good turn 2s and so on. But here I think I'd still like the Hailstone Golem because this is the greedier play. I'm just thinking, yeah, I pick more stats, more value, and I just hope I will get a good 2-drop again. So different players might have taken different decisions here. Dark Seed, we talked about that already. Darkfire Sacrifice it's very clunky. It's very, very clunky because you actually only need Darkfire Sacrifice at the start of a game, like the first, let's say, 3 turns, because afterwards most minions, you can play most minions just like that, without sacrificing something first. And if you get this late game, if you like top deck this one when you're in a top deck war, like 1 card versus 1 card, this is very bad because you don't want to kill off your own minions. And the Blood Moon Priestess is really good, that's why I'm picking the Blood Moon Priestess. Ooh, our first choice of epics. Okay, if you have played Gauntlet already, you might know epics and legendaries are very, very rare in Gauntlet. They don't come up very often, and that's why I made the decision I will not play around legendary cards. When they happen, yeah, I'm pretty much fucked, but more times than not, when I don't play around them, they don't come up, and then I didn't have to make a bad decision or positioning decision because I didn't have to play around that. So yeah, just on a side note. Here, however, I think there are only really 2 good choices. Consuming Rebirth is more or less like 2 mana, give a minion +1/+1. And it's somewhat like a heal, For example, you can attack with something with your minion and then heal it and give it +1/+1, but that's not very solid. It's very situational because you actually need that minion to have attacked something and not die at the same time, and most of the time if it's not dead it still can kill something else, and buffing it, healing it, not the most important thing. Right off the undervolt is very nice if I am afraid I will play out my hand very, very quickly. If like I have lots of 2 and lots of 3 drops. Right now I have good big minions, so that's why I don't think I will need the ride here. I'll just go for the Spectral Blade because it's a turn 1 play. Oh my god. Here, yeah, it's still Dancing Blades. Demonic Lure provides good utility, but Dancing Blades is just overall it's just stronger. Here, oh, this is a very interesting choice. So I'm lacking 3 drops in this deck, so it's a good thing they are all 3 drops anyway. Windstopper is very, very situational because it requires your opponents to have ranged minions, and even then, yeah, you'd rather like to kill the ranged minion than having a provoke on those ranged minions, because if they attack Windstopper instead of something else, they still get off their attack, they still generate value, so that's not so great. Sapphire Seer can be good if you have the buffs, if you have like Vitruvian and have health and attack buffs. Here, however, I neither have attack nor health buffs, so that's why I'm going for the Putrid Dreadflyer. I was just talking about how it's better to just kill the ranged minion than stopping its attacks or directing its attacks. And Putrid Dreadflyer does exactly that. It flies to the ranged minion and kills it. Ooh, even more epics. We just talked about the Spectral Blade. You don't really need more than 1 in Gauntlet. I wouldn't even have picked that if the other 2 draws weren't so unfitting. Venomtoth here, I personally don't like Venomtoth because while it has good stats, it has more or less good stats. It's a very clunky effect because only 1 damage, that's not too much. And if your opponent plays 2, 3, 4 minions, that's 2, 3 or 4 damage to the general's face. That's still not that much. Black Solus, on the other hand, I made a video on this card, and it's amazing. It's like 6 mana, and with Lilith ability, it's a 8/11. So it's like, at least right now, the best epic card for Lilith in the game. So that's why I'm going for Black Solus, obviously. So far this deck has been pretty strong. I like it. Okay, here, as you can see, I have 4 5-drops already. Just because of the curve, I will not go for Necroseer. So it's either a Ghostlings or a Repulsor Beast. Ghostlings, speaking for Ghostlings, would be curve, would be a good turn 1 play, right? I only have 1 minion that I can play on turn 1, and it's good to have more than only 1. You should go for around 4 to 6. If you get really good ones, 6 is okay. If you have 4, if you're lucky, if you feel lucky, you can survive with 4. The Repulsor Beast, on the other hand, is very, very nice for positioning. If your enemy has ranged minions and place them in the bag, you just run up and play the Repulsor Beast and pull them up again. It's a very interesting decision here. I think it's still early. I'm going for the greedy pick here, going for the Repulsor Beast, because I still believe I will get the 2 drops. I believe that. Okay. This is another interesting choice. So, Storm Aratha, I don't like that too much. As you can see here, Hailstone Golem is only 4 mana, has nearly the same amount of stats, which is 10, and this has only 1 more stat points, and has 2 more mana just because it has flying. So I'm not gonna go for that. I'd rather pick either the 4-drop or the 5-drop. I just mentioned I already have 4 5-drops, which is a good amount already. I could use more 4-drops here, and the Deep Fire Devourer isn't too bad. The Bright Moss Golem is really good though. It's really good. No, I'm thinking I'll still get the 4-drops here just because of the curve. Oh, see, I was just saying we can get good 2-drops, and Healing Mystic is a very good one. This is very situational. If you can get the full effect of the opening gambit, you get like 3, 7. That's also 10 stats. So you don't even get more stats, more amount of stats than the Hailstone. Silhouette Tracer, very situational, and this is like I said, what I was waiting for, a good 2-drop. Okay. These are all pretty nice cards. I already have the Putrid Dreadfly. I don't think I will need another one. I have enough 5-drops, and First Sword. This synergizes very well with the hero power, because I have so many 1/1 creatures. Buffing them by 1 it's like 100% buff, right? So I'm gonna go for the sword here. Ooh. Let's see. Okay, so we reach like half point. We will only get 15 to 16 more cards, and here we have to think about something like patching. Like, what is my deck lacking? Where are my strengths and where are my weaknesses? So looking at the deck right now, I can see my mid game should be pretty solid. These are really great 4 and really good 5-drops. Like, this one is amazing. And late game, it's these cards can finish the game for me. So that's good. What I am lacking right now is removal. This is like more or less my only removal, and it's very early game, right? It kills a 4 health minion. Other than that, I only have this as a avoidable removal, and other than that, like, no AoE removal. So that's why I want to pick either of these two to really remove. If my enemy overruns me, one of these cards hopefully can bring me back into the game because I kill 2 or 3 of their minions. And Deathblighter does a better job, because not only does it kill the minions, it deals more damage than Breath, it also brings a body on the board, right? You have a 3/4, which is like a 3 mana, so you basically pay 3 mana for an AoE 3 damage, which is not too bad. So that's why I'm gonna pick the Deathblighter here. Okay, Void Pulse is it's actually amazing in terms of value, because a 5 health swing for only 1 mana is pretty good. You don't get that anywhere else. It's pretty good. But in terms of combined value, it's like you have to pay that card. So in terms of combined value, card and 1 mana and only 5 health swing, that's too little. So that's why I don't pick Void Pulse. The High Hand, I used to love this card when before the patch, before the 2-draw patch, and because back then, the 1-draw patch, because back then everybody had 5 or 6 cards in hand, and this card just grew enormously. Nowadays, however, people it's more like 2 to 4 cards in hand, and then the High Hand doesn't really pay out. So that's why I'm gonna go for the 2-drop here. This is like one of the worst 2-drops, but it's a 2-drop, it's a turn 1 play, it's a play on curve. Okay. Here I will count. I have 3 2-drops. I think I will only need 1 or 2. No, let's just say 2 good 2-drops for me to be satisfied. That's why I am again going for the greedy pick, which would be the Hailstone Golem here. I went over these cards here already, right? So the Golem is nice. Okay, Void Pulse is also same reason, not a good card. So the pick here is either the 6-drop or the the one drop. The one drop can act as a turn 1 play. There are of course better one. The one drop can be used to deny your enemy if you're playing, if your player 2 can deny his mana crystal. However, I'd like to go for the greedy pick here again, which would be the golem. And with that, I have enough late game, enough, not enough late game, but good late game, good mid game, and I can finally concentrate on the early game. It's, yeah. Basically what I'm saying is it's more difficult to get good late game than good early game, because early game you don't really need to have those value 2 and 1 drops. You just have to have a 2 drop. That's enough, because the body in itself, most of the time, if it's turn 1, it's already enough. And it's more difficult to get a valuable big minion, big drop. With that in mind, I still want to get the Primus Shieldmaster. It's just amazing. It's like a slightly weaker Hailstone Golem, but it still kills 2 drops and most 3 drops, but it has the Provoke. The Provoke is like yeah, cheat mode in Gauntlet, because you stop your enemy in his tracks. He can't move onto mana crystals, he can't run away, he can't run to your vulnerable minions, and it's just both aggressive and defensive. That's why I really like it. And it pays only 1 stat point for the Provoke. That's amazing. That's amazing card. Oof. Okay, the sword here is very situational. If you drop this, most of the time your enemy will play, not most of the time, all of the time your enemy will play around that, or simply kill it. So it's very rare you can really, as Abyssian at least, get the value out of your sword. It's very rare you can really like frenzy attack something. So that's why I'm not gonna pick it. The choice here is either Blood Moon Priestess or Windrunner. Windrunner does also a great job. The difference between these two, the similarity between these two, is if your enemy sees one of those dropped, he will want to get rid of it. The difference is you can play Windrunner in the back, like very defensive, and just later next turn run it forward and play the minion before that, of course. But the sword, if you play it in the back, it can't attack anything, and it doesn't do anything. If this is played in the back, it can still run, it can still buff up your minions. Because of the curve, I should pick the 3 drop here, because I only have two 3 drops, and I'd like to have like 3 or 4 3 drops. Blood Moon Priestess, however, is pretty good. It's pretty amazing, and since I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4 drops, I think I can still go for the 4 drop here. This might be this might be too greedy this time, but it's just amazing as a card, because the Wraithlings, if you have any minions on the board, you can play this. Sacrifice, no, not sacrifice, trade in your minion, it generates 1 or 2 Wraithlings, and you can then kill off your Wraithlings, and they generate even more Wraithlings, and it's like an eternal circle. That's why this card is so good. It's actually great. Ooh, okay. So good thing this card has come up. These 2 cards are very lackluster. I would maybe pick them because of the curve, but this card, I actually like it. I've picked it twice or thrice this far in my Gauntlet plays, and this acts as a great finisher. Some people pick, for example, the Saberspine Tiger because they want to have some out-of-hand damage, and this just does it. This is like, if you have 2 or 3 minions, this is 4 or 6 additional damage that your opponent probably won't expect, or probably isn't expecting, probably isn't playing around, or maybe he can't even play around that because you have ranged or you have flying dudes, and this just acts as a really good finisher. Also with all the Wraithlings I will generate with my hero power and with the Blood Moon Priestess, this should do wonders. Yeah. this time I think, can I pass on? Okay, let's go over the cards first. You know, Piercing Mantis. Night Sorrow Assassin is very difficult to use. Like, the only thing that it kills are more or less 2-drops and maybe the Whistling Blades, but nobody picks Whistling Blades. And 2-drops, killing a 2-drop is really nice, but this dies afterwards for sure to the general. And you can't kill his 2-drop. If you're player 2, you can't kill the enemy 2-drop on turn 1 because he won't play it close enough, because it has to destroy a nearby minion. So the earliest you can actually use the effect is turn 2. Turn 2, as player 2, you already have 4 mana, and I have good 4-drops, or I have lots of 4-drops. I'd rather play a 4-drop than a 3-drop. So the only situation here is like maybe turn 2 as a player 1, and turn 2 as a player 1, if I had a turn 1, I can also accelerate into 4 mana crystals. And I'd rather play the 4-drop than a 3-drop here, because the 4-drop also kills the 2-drop, which is a bit delayed, but still kills it, more or less for free. And yeah, so the Piercing Mantis is definitely better than the Night Sorrow here. Dark Transformation. Dark Transformation, it's just a removal. It kills a card and gives you 1 Wraithling. The Wraithling is not too important. It skips over some annoying dying wishes, like the Fenrir Warmaster or Draugr Lord. They counter that, but these 2 cards aren't seen very often. Vannar isn't too common in Gauntlet, and also you want to play this card like basically on a big drop, right? You want to play it on a 6-drop or maybe a 5 or 6-drop. And I think in my case, because I have such good minions, I'd rather play a big dude on my own than remove his big dude. So I'm gonna go for the curve play here and pick Piercing Mantis, because I really lack good turn 1 plays. I don't have a single card that gives me Shadow Creep. I can't pick that. Dark Seed is bad because situational, so I'm gonna go for the turn 1 play again. Ooh! Okay, these are three really amazing cards here. Let's go over them. Vorpal Reaver, it's like, yeah, your enemy needs Dispel or like, yeah, actually Dispel, because if you 6/6 celerity, if he just removes that, you gain 6 Wraithlings, and I, in my case, can buff those Wraithlings or use Blood Moon Priestess. This has great synergy also with Black Solus if I can somehow pull it off. This is very nice. Dark Nemesis. Dark Nemesis, it's like a very defensive game minion. You play it like somewhere very safe, and you try to survive longer, and it just deals damage and deals damage and deals damage. If your enemy wants to come closer to kill it, yeah, he will get like lots of huge hits, because after 2 turns it's already at 12 attacks, so he won't get closer with his general. This is like a big bait. This is like some card you would use Dark Transformation on, and it's a great card. Spectral Revenant, on the other hand, it's like a really amazing card. 7 mana, 6 damage, rush. Oh my god! And if you attack a minion, like basically every minion dies to the Spectral Revenant, you also deal 4 damage to the general's face. This is just so much. This is also very good finisher. It also, yeah, I can play these 2 on the same turn for like, that's 8 attack. All of them really interesting choices. I think in this case the Revenant is slightly better. Yeah, just go for the because this card, your enemy can't. It does something immediately this same turn it is played. So you drop this, you don't even give your enemy a chance or the time to come up with an answer. And oh, don't I have spells? I have one spell, that's true, and I have an artifact, so it's not all minions. But what I'm saying is, if I play the Vorpal Reaver, it might potentially deal more damage than the Revenant because it can attack twice for 12 damage, but I give enemy time to play something, to replace, maybe even has draws, so he might come up with an answer. Like a transform would be a really great answer for the Vorpal Reaver. This one, however, play this, deal 6 or 10 damage, and your enemy still has to come up with an answer. So it's not like does something and then it's gone. It's do something and your enemy still has to deal with it. So that's why I'm picking the Revenant here. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minions I can play on turn 1. That's enough for me. I don't think I need that much more. So no Abyssal Crawler. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4-drops. I don't need another 4-drop. This is like medium good 4-drops. Maybe a passable 5-drop if I hero power and play this. This would be also 8/8, but oh, this would be 8/8 Frenzy. That's not too bad. However, I already have it, and I rather pick this one just for the curve. I mean, I have 2 3-drops. One more doesn't hurt. Oh man, just when I said one more doesn't hurt. So let's see here. The Dragon Bone Golem, of course, is lots of value. I have 2 7-drops already. I would rather save a slot for the 7-drop for the Shadow Nova than for a big minion here, so nah. The Windstopper is just really situational. It requires your enemy to have a ranged minion, and it doesn't adequately deal with it, it just delays. And if it delays for 1 or 2 turns, it's great, but in that time I probably still won't have an answer for that because I only have 1 flying and like 1 positional thing. So it delays, but in the end I still can't deal with it. So wow. And if I pick the Helm here, it's like ugh, yeah. So pound for pound, mana for mana, you can't get better than the Helm of Mechazor, right? 4 stats points for 1 mana. That's, where do you get that? If you times that 7, the Dragon Bone Golem would be like 14/14. So this is how strong Helm of Mechazor is. However, as a card in itself, because you pay a card for that, for this minion, it's not that good. However, for the curve, I might still pick it. Okay, let's go for the Helm here for a turn 1 play. Solely for a turn 1 play. Okay, I'm gonna go for one of the 3-drops here. I don't like Wraithling Swarm that much. It's a 3/3 in 3 different bodies, that I can't even buff up. Songweaver, however, could potentially buff up my Piercing Mantis and everything else too, so I'm gonna go for the Songweaver. Whew. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turn 1 plays. I don't really need more than that. The profit, the effect is well, not that great actually. The best removals in this game are either like direct removals, like destroy this minion or transform this minion, and spell damage based removals. It's like you don't play around that, you just delay that. It's the same with the what's it called? Windstopper. You don't really deal with that, you don't negate that, you just delay it. They can still play it 1 turn later, so it's not that great. Mind Warper or Sunstealer. Mind Warper is good if you are playing a fast deck, you play lots of cards in 1 turn and you are afraid that your hand will get too small, you will lose like your hand size, and you can refill your hand with this, if you're lucky. In my case, however, I have so many big mid-game and late-game drops, I don't need that. So that's why I'm gonna go for the Sunsteel Defender here. Frostbow Naga here is like the smaller sister of Deathblighter. It has nearly the same stats. So this is a like 3 mana stats, maybe 2.5 mana. So you pay 1.5 mana for 2 AoE damage. If you can manage to not hit your own minions, this is amazing. Sometimes, most of the time you can achieve that, because you can play this and then move your minion, or if your minion is in the way, just move it away and then play this. If you hit your general, it's kind of sad, but it's still okay. Night Sorrow, I explained, it's like very, very clunky to use, and Ghost Links is just random, too random. I don't like random. And I don't have to pick it for my turn 1 plays anymore, that's why I'm gonna go for the Frostbow. Yeah, I'm not gonna go for Darkfire's Sacrifice. Oh shit! I didn't want to take it. Damn it! That was... I didn't know that. That was a right click on the card. I didn't know you can pick cards with a right click. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well, shit happens, I guess.